I never thought I'd find myself telling a story like this. My life had always been steady, some might even say dull. I had a dependable job in IT, lived in a quiet suburban neighborhood, and was married to a woman I once believed I'd spend the rest of my life with. Her name was Rachel. We'd been together for 10 years. Life wasn't perfect, of course. It never is, but I believed in what we had. We had our routines, our private jokes, and a shared history that I thought could weather any storm. But I was wrong. It started with small changes. Rachel became more attached to her phone, often laughing at messages, and then quickly locking the screen whenever I came close. She started dressing up more frequently, even if she was just stepping out for errands. At first, I told myself not to overthink it. Maybe she was catching up with old friends, or trying something new. But when she began coming home later and later, always with vague excuses, the uneasy feeling in my chest grew harder to ignore. One evening, while she was in the shower, I gave in to the suspicion and checked her phone. I already knew her passcode. What I found made my stomach twist. There were dozens of messages from someone named Ethan. And these weren't innocent conversations. They were flirtatious, filled with private jokes, plans to meet up, and thinly veiled intimacy. It was crystal clear this wasn't just a friendship or emotional boundary being crossed. Rachel had been unfaithful in every way. I confronted her that night. She didn't deny it. Instead, she met my anger with tears and rationalizations. "We've grown apart," she said. "Ethan makes me feel alive again. You're always buried in work." The words stung worse than I expected. I had worked hard, for us. I thought she understood that. But the blow didn't stop there. She told me she wasn't ending things with Ethan. She said she needed space, time to sort out her emotions. As if our marriage was something she could step away from like a vacation. But what truly broke me happened 3 days later. The doorbell rang. Rachel answered, and there he stood, Ethan in the flesh. Tall, self-assured, carrying the smugness of a man who never heard the word no. I could tell instantly that I hated him. He walked into my house like he owned it. Rachel didn't stop him. She looked uncomfortable, yes, but said nothing. He gave me a smile like we were old acquaintances. "You must be Mark," he said, extending a hand. I didn't take it. "I know exactly who you are. The real question is, what are you doing in my home?" He laughed, turning to Rachel. "Babe, I think he's still under the impression this is his house." "Babe." In my kitchen. My fists clenched, but I held myself back. Getting angry wouldn't help. Rachel tried to defuse the situation, but Ethan brushed her aside. "I just wanted to meet the guy who somehow managed to let someone like you slip through his fingers." Every word he spoke was designed to provoke. He leaned against my counter like it was his. "Nice place, Mark. But let's be real. I'm the alpha now." That word, alpha, felt like a slap. And Rachel said nothing to defend me. That moment was my turning point. This wasn't just betrayal. It was humiliation. And I wasn't about to let it continue. I didn't react that night. But I didn't sleep either. I could have shouted, gotten physical, broken things. But none of that would fix anything. I needed something more precise. More devastating. Over the next week, I became obsessed. I dug into Ethan's life. It wasn't hard. He was a real estate agent who loved showing off online, flashy suits, luxury listings, constant self-promotion. Beneath the surface, though, I found cracks. Poor reviews, scathing client complaints, and a reputation for arrogance. Most of all, I found a delicate, inflated ego. Meanwhile, I pretended to be the wounded husband. I gave Rachel the space she asked for. I acted numb, distracted, exactly what she expected. Then I made my move. I invited both of them, Rachel and Ethan, over for dinner. They seemed surprised, but I pitched it as a chance to move forward, to show I was mature about the situation. Ethan agreed immediately, eager to boast, no doubt. Dinner was tense, but I played the part of the gracious host. I let Ethan talk about his latest sales, praised his accomplishments. Rachel looked relieved, convinced I had accepted her choices. Then, as we cleared the dishes, I invited them into the living room. "There's something I'd like to show you," I said. Ethan raised an eyebrow but followed. I connected my laptop to the TV and began. "Ethan, you're right," I said. You are the alpha of something. He chuckled, thinking I was finally submitting. Glad you're seeing the light, Mark. I hit play. The screen lit up with a video compilation. Clips and screenshots from his own social media. Client reviews complaining about his behavior. Footage of him drunk at a bar yelling at a waiter. Audio of him mocking clients. I'd edited it all into a dramatic, damning reel, complete with music. His face drained of color. What the hell is this? He demanded. Your best moments, I said calmly. And I shared it, with your employer, your clients, and the real estate board. As if on cue, his phone buzzed with message after message. He looked down, swore under his breath. You bastard. Watch your tone. I interrupted. The entire evening is being recorded. Wouldn't want to make it worse for yourself. He looked to Rachel, expecting support. But she was staring at me in shock, silent. Her expression was unreadable, regret, maybe even admiration. Mark, this is insane, she finally said. You didn't have to do all this. I turned to her, my voice calm but firm. You let this man into my house. You stood by while he insulted me. I just returned the favor, with interest. Ethan stormed out, his phone still lighting up with the collapse of his image. Rachel stayed behind, crying. I don't know what to say. Then don't. I told her. Just leave. After that, everything unraveled, for them at least. Ethan's career took a nosedive. The real estate board launched a formal inquiry. Clients backed out. His online presence became a cautionary tale. Rachel tried to make amends, said she was sorry, asked if we could start over. But I was done. Some things can't be rebuilt. I filed for divorce and slowly began putting the pieces of my life back together. It wasn't easy, but with every day that passed, I felt a little stronger. As for Ethan, word is he relocated and tried to rebrand himself elsewhere. But I doubt he'll ever forget what happened in that living room. Because in the end, I didn't just protect my pride. I reminded myself that I still had worth. And that's a kind of revenge no one can take away.